ナモ阿弥陀仏、ナモ阿弥陀仏、ナモ阿弥陀仏、ナマンダー、ナマンダー、ナマンダー、ナマンダー。
Yeah. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Let's just show. But though the light of the sun is veiled by clouds and mists, beneath the clouds and mists there is brightness, not dark. When one realizes Shinjin, seeing and revering and attaining great joy, one immediately leaps crosswise, closing off the 5 evil courses. From Shinran Shonin Shoshinge, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today in this online service of the Honpa Hongwanji Hawaii Betsuin. We are continuing the streamlined service, which has been going on since the early days of the COVID-19 lockdown. But hopefully, we are getting closer to resuming regular in-person services and other activities curtailed by the pandemic. The latest statistics indicate decreasing infection and death rates, not only here in Hawaii, but several other parts of the mainland. And that is really encouraging news. We have been fortunate also that we haven't had any major natural disasters so far, like major hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, and other destructive events caused by the forces of nature. The hurricane season ends in November. We made it through from June this month without having a single hurricane come to Hawaii. Am I right? It was mostly days of either bright, sunny, or cloudy, but really no storms with strong destructive winds, unlike in previous years. Talking about the weather, we as humans much prefer to have sunny than cloudy or rainy days. Although we realize the importance of having precipitation or rain in the natural cycle of life. It's because when the weather is clear and sunny, we can perceive things better with our eyes. When the skies are dark, the first thing that comes to our mind is rain. And rain is not a welcome thing to have when we are engaged in outdoor activities like picnics, ball games, outside musical concerts, and so on. In times like this, we might think that the life-giving force of sunlight has gone out completely. But in reality, the sun never disappears. It is always shining, its life-sustaining light energy on Earth. But on certain days, this light is blocked by the clouds of rain. Even at night, it shines, but we cannot see or feel the light because it is on the other side of the earth. The light of the sun is constant and unchanging, as it has been the source of life for several million years already on earth. Similarly, we can compare Amida Buddha's light of wisdom and compassion to sunlight. The Buddha's light is always there for us, never disappearing, but our ordinary unenlightened minds cannot perceive this light. Just as clouds obstruct the sunlight, so do our blind passions or bonno act as a barrier to Amida's wisdom and compassion light. Amida's light of wisdom and compassion has often been described as boundless, unlimited, all-penetrating, and that has no obstruction can block it from reaching the minds of ordinary foolish beings who are the objects of the primal vow of salvation. Some of us might argue or reason that if Amida Buddha's light cannot be obstructed by anything, why is it that there are times in people's lives when everything seems dark and gloomy and hopeless? Where is the so-called boundless compassion when we need it most in such times? It is actually there, but our blind passions, chiefly doubt, creates that cloud barrier that, although cannot really obstruct the light of Amida's compassion and wisdom, nevertheless gives the false impression that it can. The workings of the light of compassion is through the workings of natural laws. So, to expect something outside of the bounds of the natural is considered inappropriate in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. Thus, we do not say petitionary prayers for miracles to happen in our lives, because to expect miracles and then nothing happens creates further doubt in the Buddha's compassion, especially to those who are in desperate need of spiritual support. Rather, what the Buddha's wisdom light does is break that false barrier created by doubt and clear the delusions of our minds to see reality as it really is, and thus enable us to make rational decisions to lift us out of our dark situation. We Buddhists do not believe in God. There are gods in Buddhism, it is true. But these gods are not supreme rulers or creators of human destinies. These gods are supernatural beings, but they are of a lower level than Buddhas. We ourselves create and shape our destinies according to our actions. We believe in the law of cause and effect. Natural disasters aren't created, but form out of natural forces. No gods or Buddhas created them to punish us for spiritual transgressions. But what about Amida Buddha? We bow before the image of the Buddha, or Amida, recite his name, the Nembutsu, and sing hymns and praises to Amida and the Pure Land. Isn't he similar to or like the Christian God? To explain this, I will borrow the words of the late Reverend Taitetsu Uno, one of Jodo Shinshu's prominent scholars, in one of his writings entitled, Is There a God? Reverend Uno writes, Is there a God? Yes, but a proper Buddhist answer requires some clarification. In the depth of human awareness is a supreme reality who is boundless in compassion and immeasurable in wisdom, and who is involved in the endless activity to enlighten all existence. Amida Buddha is the fullness of compassion, and his sole concern is the expression of unconditional love to every form of life. Amida Buddha differs radically from the traditional Judeo-Christian concept of God because of the following characteristics. Amida Buddha is not a creator, but he is a savior who performs his compassionate work without any conditions whatsoever. Amida Buddha does not judge or punish man, for man is responsible for his own acts and invites the consequences, good or bad, of his actions. Amida Buddha does not perform miracles, but he manifests his saving compassion through the rhythm of natural laws. Amida Buddha is not transcendent, standing outside the world, but he is immanent, for his very being is rooted in the limitations of this world, which will be transformed by the power of Amida's love. Amida Buddha is not a wrathful or jealous God. Rather, the power of compassion fulfilled in his original vow completes the promise that he will not rest until all beings attain the same enlightenment, Buddhahood, as himself. Amida Buddha does not discriminate in any form, whether of belief or creed, moral good or moral evil, human life or animal life, but he embraces all in oneness with equal warmth. Amida Buddha does not show his love by the blood of crucifixion, which is how Jesus Christ was executed. Amida did not sacrifice his own being, but by making his compassion accessible to mankind through the Nembutsu, his sacred name, which resounds throughout the universe. Wherever his sacred name, Namo Amida Butsu, is pronounced, there he is. Amida Buddha is the timeless content of enlightenment realized by the historical Buddha, Shakyamuni. Amida means boundless compassion and immeasurable wisdom. Immeasurable wisdom sees into the fragility of human life, and boundless compassion is moved by this insight to actively embrace all life into the timeless fulfillment of truth. So, as we can see from the descriptions of Amida Buddha, he is different from the Christian God. Amida is not a creator nor a destroyer, because Amida is a Buddha and not a God. Amida has no emotions of jealousy and anger like the gods of other religions. The first question, is there a God? Reverend Uno says, yes, but with clarification. Amida is not a God as defined by the Judeo-Christian tradition, but something similar. Amida is boundless wisdom and compassion personified. When I first served here at Honolulu Betsuin back in 2010, one of the members here asked me, you know, we are all supposed to say the Nembutsu as an expression of gratitude to Amida Buddha. But, says the member, I say the Nembutsu in times of danger and crisis, involuntarily sometimes. I say the Nembutsu when I feel afraid in the face of imminent danger. Is that okay to do? My response was, yes, why not? As long as you understand that the Nembutsu is not a form of petitionary prayer, but rather something that can help you calm yourself and handle a frightening situation, I don't see anything wrong with that. Saying the Nembutsu while a huge tsunami is about to wash away your car in the garage or house will not cause the tsunami to reverse course. It is a natural human reaction to grasp at something, like a spiritual crutch, to help one able to handle a crisis. It is part of our bonno because of fear. But as Buddhists, we should not use the Nembutsu to expect a miracle. So, just as a reminder, saying the Nembutsu will not increase our chances of winning the jackpot when we go to Las Vegas, nor will the Nembutsu guarantee a student to pass his examinations in school without studying. Buddhism teaches the law of cause and effect. If one wants to pass his tests, he has to study. This reminds me of my student days in nursing school at the Catholic University. Come examination time, a lot of the students, especially the wahinis, the females, just before examination day, they would enter the church and start praying in front of all the statues of saints and Jesus Christ, asking for divine help to pass the test. One of my professors in anatomy, a doctor, heard about it, and so in front of the class, he told us, don't waste your time praying that you will pass your tests. The saints you are praying to cannot help you at all. They don't know anything about medical science. Instead, spend most of your time studying your books and notes. That is a much surer way for you to pass your exam successfully. Coming from a devoutly Catholic doctor, I admire this remark very much. It's so Buddhist. The diamond-like and trusting mind or Shinjin is the decisive cause of our birth in our Pure Land, according to Shinran Chonin. This is the mind completely free of doubt, even though the person of Shinjin does not lose his blind passions or bonno. The bonno is still there, but it is now transformed into the waters of enlightenment and never becomes a hindrance to the workings of Amida Buddha's light of compassion and wisdom. Thus, the dark clouds of doubt are dispelled, revealing a world underneath, bathed in the light of enlightenment. The person who is able to attain this diamond-like mind of entrusting then joins the ranks of those whose birth in the Pure Land are assured. But it is not just the assurance of being saved. A transformation happens to the person as well. Shinran Shonin said in one of his writings that without the practicer's calculating in any way whatsoever, all his past, present, and future evil karma is transformed into good. To be transformed means that evil karma, without being nullified or eradicated, is made into good. In other words, we who have been foolish, unenlightened beings, without the means of ever freeing ourselves from the bondage of samsaric existence, are transformed from bits of rubble to that of gold. The light of Buddha's boundless compassion is always there, even in the darkest moments of our lives. For precisely that is what boundless means. No light limits, no borders, no hindrance. Let us cultivate that entrusting heart and mind through the recitation of Amida's name, Namo Amida Butsu, in gratitude, and open ourselves to the Buddha's benevolent, pervasive presence by eradicating the clouds of doubt that our foolish, unenlightened minds create. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.